Hi guys. This video that you're about to see was a game changer for me. And I know I've said that before, but seriously, when you're trying to build your foundation, you have to start within. And this session with Teresa changed everything. I know it's 30 minutes, but it is well worth the watch.
Challenge accepted, universe!
When we went over your lifestyle health risk assessment,
Yes.
one of the things we started to talk about is what's standing in your way from doing the things that you know you want to do, right? We all struggle with this. It's weird, but we do.
Mm-hmm.
So let's review it again. What do you think stands in your way to eat more fruits and vegetables?
Okay, so fruits and vegetables in of itself, there's nothing stopping me except for in my head, that's a lot of sugar, that's a lot of carbs. And so since I'm eliminating the carbs, I'm staying away from most fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
So is there...
So right now, that doesn't sound like it's your block per se. It's what you've chosen to do based on the education about what's keto.
Yes.
And ultimately it's kept you away from sugar. Like,
yes.
I see the stop sign on sugar.
Yes.
And I support that. It's
yes.
definitely toxic. It's for sure going to cause inflammation. So what can we do to help facilitate this just a little bit further? How about any barriers to moving your body more or exercising more?
I remember what you said the last time. When we discussed how you said you set the alarm clock and you have a hard time getting up, and I'm in the parking lot of the gym going, I don't want to go in there. Mm-hmm. Don't you have something to do? I'll make up every excuse in the book not to go in there. That I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Because I know that, as we discussed before, even when I'm in the middle of it, I feel so much better.
Absolutely.
So I don't know that moment that is stopping me from taking it by the horns and just doing it. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what makes me double guess or second guess myself.
What I want to try with you today is called internal family systems. Okay. It's a therapy technique that I use in my office. So what I want you to do is imagine that part. It's that feeling we're going to make into a part. Okay. And we're going to pull the part out and put it in front of us.
Okay. Okay.
So imagine this resistance part.
Okay.
What does it look like?
The resistance part just looks like a black blob.
How big's the blob?
It's like this.
Okay, so like a big ball.
A basketball size blob.
Basketball blob.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. There's no way to do this wrong.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to call this resistance.
Okay.
How do you, your authentic self, is kind, compassionate, centered, has looking for clarity, it's curious, it's calm. So how do you feel towards the blob?
I don't like the blob.
Okay, that tells me that's not a kind, curious place, right?
Right.
So that tells me there's a critic also here.
Okay.
Okay, so there's more than one part, more than one feeling.
Okay.
So we're going to ask the critic to just step aside. We're going to talk to it next, so we will get there.
Okay.
But that just tells me who's in the room.
All right.
All right, so let's talk to the blob. Feelings are either helping us or it's telling us a story.
Okay.
This is a little bit hard because how would the blob be helping you? That's a little bit tricky to think about. But can you imagine any way that this blob is helping you?
And the blob is preventing me or talking me out of going in and doing what I know makes me feel good. So
Yes.
what is that black blob? What is it telling me?
Yeah.
It's saying that you don't need to do that. Why are you wasting your time? There are so many other fun things that we could be doing right now that is not going to make you sweat. It's not going to make you sore.
So this sounds like the ultimate distractor.
Yes.
Okay. There's different kinds of parts. So let me just tell you a little bit more.
Okay.
There's managers, which is usually our personality. Go, 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 do, do, do. You know, it'd be your presenting self usually.
Okay.
There's also, that's considered one of the defenders. There's another one called a firefighter.
Okay.
And the firefighter will distract you in any way possible so that you do not feel pain.
Oh.
That's its primary job. And usually it's what I see in my office because it'll say, let's get drunk, let's use drugs, let's use sex, let's use food, let's use Netflix, let's numb out on anything we can possibly think of.
Okay.
I don't want you to feel any pain. So imagine you're doing something, all of a sudden someone's just running interference. It's like the football game, somebody just runs interference. That's what that job is. Okay. So I think we might be talking to a firefighter. Okay. What possible pain could he be wanting, or it, I'm saying he, I'm sorry, it could be wanting you to avoid?
Failure.
Okay. That's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Is there any others?
No, because you're going to make me cry.
Okay. Do you want to share about your fear of failure?
I don't know where it started, but there's always been a fear that I'm never going to be good enough.
Okay, there we go. That's usually what I call that part.
Yeah.
That one comes up for a lot of people.
Where does that start?
Well, usually our upbringing gives us some signal that we're not good enough. And when we don't fit in into our families or our school or our social network, we get the signal that we must not be good enough if we're not being loved and accepted the way we need to be.
Okay.
So the ones in the back that are holding on to pain,
Mm-hmm.
those are the ones telling you the story. So this one for sure is telling you a story.
Okay.
Okay? And since you moved through it, is it okay if the blob, is the blob okay if we talk to the fear of failure?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Is it okay if I give permission, even if?
Well, we won't get through the defender if they don't let us.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I want you to just ask it if it's okay.
Is it okay? Yes. We are fine with it.
Okay. All right. So we're going to have Blob just set aside for a second. We will come back to Blob because we
Okay.
haven't finished with that. Let's talk to this fear.
Okay.
So the story it's telling you is that you're not good enough. How do you feel towards this feeling?
Of not being good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's bullshit.
Okay. So we still have a critic in the room.
I don't know if I'm ever going to get rid of the critics.
Well-
I'm so critical of myself.
I know that we need to talk to the critic for sure too.
Uh-huh.
But I'm trying to talk to one at a time and just see if we can. So
Okay.
So we have the critic here, and just tell the critic it's okay. We will definitely hear what they have to say.
We'll address you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the fear of failure, does it have a shape?
Does it have a shape? No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
What would be the story that it's trying to tell you? I want you to ask it again because it's here to help you somehow. So it's telling you a story usually. What story is it telling you? When did you feel this way first?
Okay. Of not being good enough. Oh, God, we have to go way, way back, of course. And I, it, okay, so my mom, when I was in third grade, she was divorced from my dad, and she needed to give us to our dad so she could take care of herself. She was going through some sort of mental um, breakdown herself. So she had to hand over all three of us kids to him. But see, here's the thing with that. I think it happened before that, in the choices that she had made. But, and again, she has chosen men that have not been nice to her or to us.
Okay.
Okay.
So that got modeled for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then seeing her go through all of that, and then she hands us over to dad because she is not in the place to take care of us like she needs to.
Mm-hmm.
And up until that point, we wanted to be with my dad and our new stepmother because that was a safe place. But that moment she finally did it, I know that there was that not good enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So this is at least a third grade moment, right?
Yes.
What is that, like 10, 9, 10-ish?
Okay.
8, 9, 10. So I want you, your authentic self, to talk to this 9-year-old.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to tell her you've had your own children.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to a 9-year-old who's feeling like she's been abandoned because she's not good enough? You don't have to say it out loud. I want you to just think it and talk to it.
Okay.
All right. What does she say back to you now?
She doesn't believe me. She doesn't believe me. This is going to take a little bit more cajoling, a little bit more, and maybe I'm just not saying the right thing.
I don't think it's that. I think we all need time and consistency in order to prove, right? You got to earn that. You got to
Right?
earn that trust. You have
Right.
to earn that respect. So this would be more of a promise to her that your authentic self is going to check in with her
Okay.
and make sure you're listening to her. What we typically do with our feelings is what? We want to shut them off, shut them down, shut them up, numb them out,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's when we turn to all these other things. Give me a muffin, give me some alcohol, give me some drugs, give me some sugar, give me
Mm-hmm.
something to numb this out. What you're going to say to her is, I promise I'm going to keep checking in with you. I'm not going to let the distractor get in the way of checking in with you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So now just tell her that.
That makes her very happy.
Okay. All right. Do you picture her doing something?
Plain.
Okay.
flame.
Yeah, usually when you see these parts, and especially if they're people, they start to shift, they start to change. Okay. All right, so now that she has that sort of agreement with you, that's going to change the other parts in the room. So we have to go back to Blob because we started with Blob. Let's talk to Blob because Blob is a distractor. But Blob was trying to distract this. I mean, imagine trying to distract a 9-year-old. What are you going to do? You're going to be silly, goofy. You're going to do all kinds of stuff. You don't want to sweat. Let's go play. Let's go play. Let's go play. Right? So now that the little girl is going to be at least checked on and made sure that she's okay and listened to, how is Blob feeling?
He's much more relaxed.
Okay.
He is willing to step aside.
Okay.
Not leave.
No, we can't get rid of any of them. Even if it's your worst feeling ever, we can't get rid of them. They're here to serve you.
Okay.
Okay. They're the lights on our dashboard that let us know something's up. It's giving us information all the time.
Okay.
But we have to listen to
So the blob isn't bad.
No, the blob is not bad. But we need to understand what it's trying to do.
Okay.
It's protecting you from pain. But if we can manage our pain, then it doesn't need to be activated.
Okay.
Kind of like a smoke alarm. We don't need the smoke alarm if there's no fire.
Okay.
Okay. So as long as there's not pain being activated, we can do that.
Okay.
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 All right. So now we've kind of checked in with 2. Let's talk to the critic. What does the critic look like?
Oh. The critic looks like a severe looking librarian.
Glasses?
Glasses down at the end of the nose.
Okay. And and this one's, how do you think this one's trying to help you?
Well, she too doesn't want me to be hurt in any way.
Right?
Okay.
It's definitely trying to protect you.
Yeah.
I agree.
She doesn't want to hurt me. She doesn't want me to be hurt. It's almost as if she wants me to be prepared for negativity.
Be prepared.
Yes.
All right. So those would be the pros of it. What are some of the cons of this part, this critic?
She's very harsh. She says, she's not saying it in a loving manner whatsoever.
And how do other people respond to the critic? Do they see this part in you?
The other parts of me? Does everybody
does this critic show? Can other people see this critic? Do you find yourself critical?
Oh, no.
Okay, so this is an internal dialogue.
Yes.
Other people don't see it.
No.
Right? Okay.
No.
If we can come from a place of gratitude and curiosity, how can you convey to the critic, I get that you're trying to motivate me and you're trying to help me and make me not feel pain. Can you just have that conversation and see what the critic says back?
It's more of a, I'm here if you need me. That kind of relax. She relaxes and she's just going to sit there.
And then ask her how she feels now that we've talked to I'm not good enough, that fear of failure. How does she feel now that we've calmed that part down?
She is more at ease. She is absolutely more at ease. And there is not one part of me, and maybe this is what I don't know if it's
just discerning, or I don't even know if that's the right word, but it's like they're all lined up against the wall, just waiting for whatever I am doing.
That's right.
So that
That's
makes
exactly
sense?
how it works.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So so everybody has their own little posture. Everybody's got their own little thing that they're just
That's right.
standing at alert going.
They're there to help you if you need it.
Okay.
And give you information, right? So that's the purpose. And the more you check in with them, I have one client who says, I wake up and I do a little group session, like, okay, who's here? And what do you want to do today? I want to play. What do you want to do today? Well, you better work, work, work. That's the critic. And then what do you want to do today? Well, you should rest. You don't feel well. So that's the nurture. So you have all these, and you have to check in with each one and then say, well, I'm the authentic self. So I'm taking in all this data and I'm going to make our best choice. I think we should do this.
Okay.
Right? That's how this works. But sometimes our parts get really, really activated, and yet we try to numb them off. We try to shut them down, shut them up. And when that happens, they start to take over. So now we are anger. We are the critic. We are fear, right? And those emotions are very powerful and debilitating.
So once I see a particular part of me rear its ugly head, and I don't want to call it an ugly head because it is a part of me. So once I notice one is coming forward, I need to actually stop what I'm doing and address it and find out what's going on here.
If your check engine light's coming on, wouldn't you go, what's this about? Let me see, if it's a low tire is easy because it's like, well, stop and look at your tires. Which one is it? That's exactly what I'd want you to do. Okay. So when you're in the parking lot of the gym and you find that firefighter part come up and go, come on, you don't want to do this. Just sit with it for a minute and go, okay, what are you distracting me from? Why are you trying to distract me?
Is it always something?
What do you mean?
Will it always be like something I'm not noticing? If it's trying to distract me from going into the gym, is there something that I should be? Sometimes I'm in the parking lot and the distraction is coming there, and off the top of my head right now, I don't notice something that I should have been addressing. I don't know if that makes sense. Well, I'm expecting some sort of big reasoning to pop up.
I'd want you to remember to stay in your authentic self, that calm, centered, curious, peaceful place, right? Okay. If it's anything but that, then you've got some information coming in. Okay. And sometimes when I get mine, I don't know why they're there either. And it might take days for me to just sit with it and say, what is this feeling? I don't even know what you are. Let me try to understand it. That's okay too. Okay. But still having that place of gratitude about the feeling and trying to listen to what it's telling you, because what you think it's telling you, you thought that part was saying you're not good enough. That's not really what it was saying. Okay. It was saying, no, I'm just going to distract you, do something. The other part showed up because it didn't want you to think that, but that's not really what she was saying. What was she really saying to you? Go back to her. What is she really saying?
Not the blob.
This is a little girl.
I'm trying to go back to the parking lot. Or are we talking about what she said here?
Let's just go with her. We're just here with her right now, not in the parking lot.
Okay. What she was saying here was... God, I lost her. Hang on. Because she ran off to go play and she's really not.
Okay.
Okay, so with her, she's more concerned about not belonging.
And you made a covenant with her that you are going to make sure she belongs with you.
Right. Yeah. And that we're going to be checking in, or that I'm going to be checking in with that part of me.
But she was not saying, you're awful, you're terrible, you're fat, you're ugly, you're not good enough. She wasn't saying any of those things.
No.
That's what we think our feelings are telling us. That's where we get, and of course, who wants that? Nobody wants that message going on.
Right.
So we have to go past that. Whether it's the critic, whether it's the little girl, whether it's the firefighter.
So just because we initially feel that way, that is not the message that they're trying to get across.
Exactly.
And that's when we need to take a step back, go into our authentic self, and actually examine or
Listen.
Okay, practice listening. Check. Okay.
Okay. Now, it may not be these 3 that show up every time in the parking lot, but now you have the idea of what to do. The idea is for you to get to know your parts. It's not for me to know your parts, although it's nice to meet them.
But when I'm in that parking lot and that feeling comes, or that part comes to try to distract me, I don't necessarily have to fix it right there in the parking lot, but just recognize it, be grateful for it, and say, I will address you after the gym.
Yeah,
or after.
You could do that.
Okay. Okay. Because
Exactly.
I see that working.
Yeah, that would be one way to do it.
Okay. All right.
And the more you manage the other painful parts, the less that one has to come up and distract you anyway.
Okay.
Right? Because you're not going to the gym to make people love you.
No.
That's not, I asked you what your purpose was, right? That's not the purpose. So why are you going to the gym?
I'm going to the gym because it makes me feel powerful and it makes me feel good.
And you know you're lovable right now?
Well, yeah, I do. For the most part, I do. I mean, there are days when I don't feel so lovable, but...
And when that comes up, I want you to figure out
why
who's in the room. Who's looking in the mirror all those times? Is that the critic? Is that the little girl? Who is that?
Oh, that's good. That's good, because that is one of the most disturbing things that happens to me, is looking in the mirror and not recognizing the person in the mirror. And it's not like I have different personalities.
All those techniques sounds that way. It's nothing to do with multiple personalities.
No.
Yes.
But yeah, that's disturbing to me. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So do you think that this was helpful to find your think well and to remove the barriers to getting you to do the things, getting the rocks out of your backpack that you wanted to work on?
Absolutely.
You did really well. It was very nice meeting your parts.
Yeah.
And remember to tell them all are welcome. We're not getting rid of any of them. Make sure they know that. Can't get rid of them. Anyway, even if you tried, you can't. And they're all there to help you. So I have a lot of gratitude that they're helping you. I want you to have those parts.
Is there a time when we were told that we weren't supposed to have those parts? Is that why there's such a dissociation between why our parts are there and our feelings and what they're trying to tell us, but we take it in a different way? We take it in such an aggressive, negative way to have those parts?
Well, depending on how your family was, were you allowed to express your feelings? Did your parent help you identify what those are? A lot of times the parents are like, you're fine. Here's a Band-Aid, quit crying. Or I'll give you something to cry about. So it depends on the family, right? It just depends on how, that's what gives us the ability to identify our feelings and then express them and cope with them. Most of us didn't get that kind of expression. So we have to sort of muddle through, and we feel like these feelings, sometimes they take over. So it depends on how people, were raised around their feelings.
Okay, so this is perfectly normal.
Yes, most people did not get the ability to do this.
Okay, because I don't think I did that for my kids. I mean, I never told my kids that you needed to, sit down and shut up. But I don't know if I didn't have the tools to teach my kids. Thank God for you.
Well, it's not too late. I just did it with my daughter today. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, we talk about now that I've learned it, I've taught them, and we talk about those parts. Like what the part that you're activating right now is activating my fear part. So now my protector's coming out because I'm scared. So I just had that discussion today, and it helps us navigate through tough conversations. So they're learning how to. It's not too late to learn this, right? Here you are. You can do it now. You still have children.
I do.
They're just adults with their own children now.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So thanks for doing this. And thanks for watching along. This was really a vulnerable thing for Robin to do.
You're welcome.
This is a clinical tool. You can get some more information about learning. Just look up internal family service or internal family system. Excuse me. You can find that on the web. I'll try to maybe put a link to that on our YouTube video so you can see books people can read how to do it with themselves.
All right.
It's a great technique. I love to do it in my practice, and it just helps us manage our feelings so much better.
It actually puts, I don't want to say a face, but it actually, when you tell me to bring it out and bring it forward for me to see, it is such a helpful tool to be able to see it, talk to it, and figure out what's going on. It's almost like that movie, that kids movie.
Inside Out.
Inside Out.
It's just like, I love Inside Out. It's a great way to understand how this works. Yes.
Okay.
It's exactly like, I love that movie. Yeah. I handed them out like candy not candy. I handed them out to everybody when that movie came out because I wanted all my couples to watch it. It just explained how our mental health works. It's a really insightful movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, we're just going to keep working on it.
All right. So next
now
time,
you have this tool to help you get through the next 90 days with the program.
Okay. Do we need to meet for another session for anything?
Let's do a follow-up and see how it's going. Maybe, I don't know, do you think after your 90 days? What would be helpful for you to keep going? I want to help you be on track and not fall off of your plan.
Okay.
And if there is something in the way, we can work it out together.
Can I email you or text you or whatever if I ever have any questions? Because I think for the first month, I might want to check in with you once a week to see how it's going. But definitely, do I have to take the health assessment again after 90 days?
We can redo the test whenever you're ready, but I would want you to, I usually do it once a year.
Okay.
To just give you time to, this is a lifestyle change. This is not we're going to do it all in 90 days. You're going to be a whole new person. It's not that way. This is getting the tools you need to keep this, to sustain it.
Okay. All right.
So let's plan on doing that and give it some time. The risk assessment in a year. Okay. But let's do the 90 days and keep up with integrating these things to take the rocks out of your backpack.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
And the rocks I'm working on so far, I've been working on the fruits and vegetables, which is going well. And then
you were going to walk more.
More.
Try to move your body more.
Yep.
Especially taking breaks at work.
Yeah.
Maybe standing at your desk. We still got to work on that.
Yeah. I have to get that thing. So as far as the think well part of it, what should I be working on with my rocks on that? Just again, talk about just bringing them forward. Do I need to meditate or I don't know. Just like a gratitude list or...
I think the gratitude list would be another one to add if you wanted to work on that part.
Okay.
Like every day, check in with your parts and then have a lot of gratitude towards what's going on in your life and builds parts, right? We can Frankenstein a positive. If you don't have one, we're going to make one.
Okay.
And so that would be one way to make one.
Okay. All right.
So now that we've got the ones that are blocking you, calm down and maybe sit down out of the way. The positive ones that are there that are helping you and really motivating in a positive way can come through.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Let's do that.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So until next time, be kind to your body because
it's the only one you got.